politics. So I guess I have some questions for mostly Bob, but I'm gonna ask Richard some questions too. So I guess, I think a lot of you already know that Bob's a big Trump supporter. So, so Bob, I just, you know, why do you support Trump when like a lot of people don't support him? You know, why do you think, you know, he's gonna fix the country and so forth?
Well, he's doing it already, beefing up the military, strengthening the economy, doing a lot of stuff that I think the not-so-crypto socialist views of Obama and Clinton with the damage they were doing by taking America down a peg. I think a lot of liberal philosophy is based on survivor guilt. It's predicated on the outmoded model of a world of limited good, that there's only so much pie, and if anybody has a big piece of it, it's because they've taken somebody else's pieces of it. That used to be the way it was in the world before capitalism made it possible to increase the amount of pie. And capitalist countries have done that. Other countries have not. And so it's no surprise there's a big disparity. But the survivor guilt rhetoric of liberal Democrats and Green Party people and all that seem to me to hark back to this idea that if you are rich, you must be doing it at the expense of the poor. And I think that's just a pre-modern, pre-scientific view. Obama, it seemed to me, and his fans were globalists. They wanted to take America down some pegs because they felt guilty about being the major power in the world. So Obama continually worked against development of our energy resources, though he gave lip service to energy independence, but he wouldn't allow offshore drilling and lots of things like that. And it just seems to me that I look at what Trump does, and if you discount the lying vilifications of him, that he's a racist, that he thinks all Mexicans are rapists and drug dealers and all that stuff, which is plainly not true if you just look at recent history. Pictures of Jesse Jackson awarding him an award for promoting interracial harmony and ghetto progress and all that stuff. It's if you discount that, which I think is just hysterical propaganda against Trump, what's not to like? The stuff he's doing, like increasing black and Hispanic employment in a matter of months. I just don't see what the problem is, and I think, one last thing, I think it's good that he stands up to enemies like Iran and North Korea, whereas the Kerry, Clinton-Obama approach was that of a weak-kneed appeasement, which is very dangerous. And so I thought Obama, just to be blunt about it, was a traitor. And the worst president we'd ever have, though Hillary would be even worse. And Trump seems to me to be a good guy. If you, I don't really want to say more about any more about that, because I know there'll just be hostility and incredulity. But again, get your nets out. I don't care, but it seems to me that's the fact of the matter.
All right. So Bob, my question is, why do you think Trump would improve the economy when he's failed at a lot of businesses? Like Trump University failed, Trump Vodka failed, Trump Airlines failed, like he's failed at Trump Casinos failed, Trump University failed. So a lot of these business ventures that he's into failed.
That's
so
what we mean by venture
think
capitalism.
Trump can improve the economy?
Look at the stock market, these tax breaks that Obama wanted to do, but they was unable to. I'll give him credit for that. I remember this scene where the Baptist preacher Charles Spurgeon was on a train car, and some guy recognized him. He was very famous and said, "Dr. Spurgeon, I got to ask you, do you believe in infant baptism?" And Spurgeon said, "Believe in it? Why, man, I've seen it." And I think we've seen this, and unless you the nonsense spouted by MSNBC and the Clinton News Network and so forth, you're being told that the opposite of what is actually happening. So he is doing it. He's already producing the goods. And I've long thought we needed a president with business experience, unlike Obama, who'd never run a lemonade stand or anything. He knows how it works. And the idea that it's a criticism that some of his ventures have failed stems from the socialistic idea that we must mandate things that are guaranteed to prosper, as if that were possible. So we can't take risks, oh no. So let's just be satisfied with everybody getting a little sliver of the pie. And so you would expect some of these bets not to pay off. Some of them haven't, but look at what the guy has accomplished.
Oh, okay. All right, so Richard, my question for when it comes to politics would be, you write a lot about the philosophy
Oh,
under...
wait, before we go, before we get on to anything else.
Oh, yeah,
You were going to ask why I don't support Trump. Because literally every single thing Bob said is false. With one exception, is that the stock market wavers, it
So
goes
were
up
you
all the
like
time.
me? Did you vote for Hillary?
I voted for Sanders in the primary and for Clinton in the general election.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mystifying.
I would rather have had Elizabeth Warren, for example.
Oh my
Something.
God,
Yeah.
Pocahontas.
This is the only area
What
me and Bob
a freak
disagree.
show.
Yes, we are literally diametrically opposed on literally every fact claim related to this. So that's why I don't support Trump. But
Okay, so just
Speaking of delusional, sorry.
Well, Richard, there's a question for you. You write a lot about the philosophical underpinnings of political theorizing, including what you call political epistemology. What is that? And what are your thoughts about that?
yeah, epistemology, right? Which gets right into what we were just talking about religion earlier, which is I think for religion you need a decent religious epistemology, which I think gets you out of religion if you have a correct epistemology that only tempers belief, your confidence in what you have evidence for. Political theory needs to be based on facts as well, and even your beliefs about what the facts are have to be well founded on, in evidence. And so evidence-based political theorizing involves a lot of humility, because there's a lot of things you're not going to know for sure. But also there are things where you've got to make sure you get the facts right first, and if you're going to build political theory on top of that, it has to follow logically from what you've found, and sometimes you can't be certain, sometimes you can be more certain. So I think this is really important. I wrote my book, Sense of Goodness Without God. The core of it is about atheist moral theory, but I cover all the Aristotelian categories, including political theory, aesthetics, theory of art, like why do we think things are beautiful or ugly, and even talk about like what is the political significance of all those things. And I think it's important for people who are going to build out worldviews, especially if you're going to be making political decisions as voters, to make sure that your political epistemology is sound, and really like you're being an informed voter and do your research on things. And I think in the aggregate, this is one of the advantages of democracy, I think in the aggregate, if everybody does that, you may have a few people like Bob, but I think in the aggregate, the majority of people who, if you're all well informed and they're all checking the facts, and they're all critical thinkers, the majority is going to end up making better decisions than I think they already are. We need to promote that. I think that's something that it's really important. I think epistemology is at the core of everything that makes or breaks society. And so I think it's really important. And this ties into why I think religion interferes so much with politics, and why my opposition to religion is very much stems from my opposition to their political meddling, but also their meddling in society and the way they treat people and things like that.
Okay, Bob, my question to you is, I'm a big fan of Jimmy Kimmel and Conan O'Brien and stuff like that, and they always make fun of Trump. So what are your thoughts on like talk show hosts like
They're idiots.
Conan?
They always have been idiots. The whole Hollywood scene is just a bunch of lemmings, and you can see it on other examples. Julie Sweeney told me once how she gave a TED talk, real trendy things, and she talked against The Secret and all of this kind of mind over matter stuff, and she was, everybody was shocked because all the in-crowd believed in it. And it's the same thing. You get into this club where the membership is coveted, and now you're in with the in crowd, and so you naturally like to, it's like joining a church. Oh yeah, I believe in the Trinity, I believe in the dual natures of Christ. Oh, why do you believe that? Well, because the people in my church are so nice. You've just joined a group, and to fit in, you accept what they think. Again, it's what Peter Berger calls a plausibility structure. And it's long seemed to me that people like Sean Penn and all these people, and rock musicians that give you the benefit of their political wisdom, they're like piano playing chickens in a sideshow. They have a striking ability to play that piano with their beak, but they really are brainless. And I think that's the case with celebrity politics, whether conservative or liberal. Do they really have any idea what they're talking about? You listen to their specifics, and they certainly do not. Again, conservative or liberal.
Okay.